Hey, good evening, friends. Thank you so much for joining me on YouTube Live. I just want to check if everything is okay, and this time if the audio is
Thank you so
reachable.
much for joining me on
Yes,
YouTube Live.
so
I just
it
want
is
to
it is
check
it
if
is now. So thank you very much everyone for joining in. Sorry for this slightly wrong frame. We're just having some issues. Hope to sort it out tomorrow. We're doing it after a long time. So obviously there's some issue, and I think uh, are the comments disabled? Let me just tell my producer to enable comments because otherwise there's no point. Uh, can we enable the comments, please? Uh, yeah, please enable comments so that I can take some questions. So okay, now I'll just post this on my Telegram page so that people can join in. Uh, Once again, yeah, and on Twitter as well. Let me just post it. One second, please. YouTube live. Yeah. So I think the comments are still not enabled. Just taking. Okay, now the comments are enabled. Yeah. So thank you so much everyone for tuning in, and now it's after a long time that I'm doing YouTube live. So let's wait for some more people to join in, and then we will start. Thank you everyone. Thank you. Now now it feels like normal. Now I'm beginning to see all the comments. So uh, it's uh, it's looking nice now to have this discussion going. Uh, Thank you, Manu. Thank you, Mihir. Thank you, Suraj. Thank you, everyone. So, look, the point I want to make is, as you all know, my endeavor always has been I'm not someone who comes on air and says that you should buy Nifty or you should buy Bank Nifty or you should put this kind of stop loss. I want people to make that decision for themselves, and I just want to help them with some data points that helps them understand that point of view. Because see, you can take someone near the well, but you can't make him drink. So and especially in this age when option buying has really been the biggest trade and most rewarding trade, you can make a lot of money if you follow this reward. What was our risk reward trade this morning? If you heard me in the morning, I made this a point that at some point the market will become good risk reward, not at the open when there was a gap up. But if the market gives you a zone between, say, Friday's low and the SGX Nifty low, and the SGX Nifty, of course, corresponds to Nifty future, so you had to adjust that. If the market gives you that sort of entry, in that case, the market will give you one good risk reward trade, and the Nifty went up 300 points. Now, how do you identify those? I think you identify those with the knowledge that the market was at a very crucial level. We've all been talking about this trend line support for the market. Even if it has to break that, even if this is a market which finally completes a good correction and goes to 200-day moving average, it will not happen in a straight line. In between, the market will give you enough opportunities on the upside as well. Today was one of those days. So the moment you defended the SGX Nifty low, and the way to do these things is very simple. You will not never get the low. In fact, you should never try to get the low. I would say that you should always wait for one big green bar from the low point, because that gives you a knowledge that okay, uh, one is theory, one is practical. That okay, what I'm entering in right now has a good chance of succeeding. What is the risk reward at that point when the market goes to that SGX Nifty low and gives you 50-point bounce? The risk reward is 6 is to 1, because the Nifty rallied 300 points from the lowest point of the day. So even if you bought 50 points higher than the low, Your stop loss is 50 points and the reward is 300 points. So that gives you a good 6 is to 1 risk reward. That is the kind of risk reward. Now, in the afternoon, that I also mentioned that do not extend it beyond a point, because the market was losing momentum and the calls were not going up as much as I thought they would after a 300 point intraday rally. Of course, you would have still made a lot of money in calls, but it didn't have the kind of momentum, and things would still evolve. And as you've seen, the FIs have actually sold. So obviously, it's not just straight away just things going up. It will take time. Okay, so now, thank you, Jatia. I'm not a king. I just try to help all of you. Yeah, I mean, I miss being here. Look, I mean, I was sorting out my own issues, as you all know. So, uh, thank you, Kamlesh. Yes, today the call worked out. I'm happy. I don't know if the market was waiting for me. Uh, Thank you, Alpesh. There's so much good wishes that I get every day. It's just remarkable. Vinny, thank you. Look, all of you can get these calls right, and let me make this point very clear. There will be a lot of times today, for example, today's call could have fallen flat on my face, but I would have been okay with that because you know I took a balanced call on the risk reward. If that risk is hit, you're out of the market. Simple. The stop loss gets triggered. That's why the stop loss is there. Your stop loss gets triggered. You're out of the market. But with the knowledge that you took a good risk reward trade, it didn't work out. It's simple. It didn't work out. There are a lot of things in life that you do with the best of the intentions. They do not work out. It's okay. You have to move on. So that is why that was my call. Yeah, so last year Diwali pick gave 100% returns DLF. This year Diwali pick, look, I mean, I won't call it a Diwali pick as such, but uh, let me do some research. I'll talk about a stock tomorrow. I'm doing some research on it, but tomorrow I'll talk about it. I never do things in a half-baked manner. So, Sandy, thank you so much. Thank you, Sanjay. Very good to know that you made money in 17,100 call. I have not been able to analyze the FI data in the options. I only saw the cash market data. So you will see me analyzing the data tomorrow. Uh, uh, I will now be very active on Telegram henceforth. Look, the only reason I've stopped putting stocks on Telegram is because all of you know that my intentions are 100% clean, and everything I do is with absolute clean sort of mind. But I'm not a SEBI registered, advisor, and I don't want anything to be put which can be construed as advice. Even though I make it very clear that it's not advice, I just spot breakouts and breakdowns, and that's it. But that's why I stopped doing it, because and there are some people who really, I mean, that there's some kind of people who do not want to do well themselves and do not want others to progress. That crab mentality. I will not get out, but I will not let others also get out. There are some people who act like that, and then it becomes a bit of a headache to deal with them. So that is why I've stopped doing it. But if all of you want it, I will try to resume it. I will see how to do it. I will resume it. So let us see. I think Granules has some issues because clearly it's a stock which, there are a lot of issues about promoter stake, what's happening there, and all of those issues. I think that cleaner plays available in the pharma space. Look, I mean, I am someone who always believes in getting into cleaner plays. All these things, do not excite me much. Now, pharma, did it give false breakout or not? I don't know, but look, the pharma rally this time around may not be as big as when the first time around it happened. And there's a reason for that. First time around it was a virgin trade. It happened after a multi-year bear market, and stocks had got a new lease of life. This time around, I think unless, and I really hope that doesn't happen, unless there's a real catastrophe because of this variant, in that case, all bets are off. Then, of course, you don't know. But otherwise, I mean, obviously, the pharma trade won't be as big as it was, say, last year or say 2 years back. Is Nifty going to touch 200-day moving average? I don't know, Suraj. And again, let me reiterate this point. It should not matter to you. Honestly, this whole business of where the Nifty is going or not doesn't help because, okay, let me tell you, if I say, okay, it's going to 200-day moving average, what will you do? Because you trade in weekly options or you trade in monthly options. Now, what if it has a 500-point rally before it goes to 200-day moving average? How will you trade it? So all these things, that we have in our mind about whether the Nifty is going to 200, whether the Nifty is going to 20, whether it's bouncing back, whether the trend line is breaking or not, all of that is not material. What's material is how you make money, how you respect your risk reward, and how you trade. That is more important. I think process over outcome is what you should believe in always. Uh, I try to do YouTube live now as regularly as you can. So let us see. Tata Steel. I think the call on Tata Steel is very simple. My belief is that we are not in the at the top of the cycle. We still have some room to go, and if that is the case, then Tata Steel at some point will reclaim its highs. But with metals, there's always a risk, and that's why with metals, if you're a trader, you always put a 10% stop loss. If it gets triggered, it gets triggered because it can fall 40%. Who knows? So that is why. Now the HDFC twins have not been able to perform. That's very simple. Is because uh, FIs are selling, and FIs sell normally these kind of stocks. That's why today also in top 10 I mentioned these two stocks. Aruna, thank you so much. I love all of you, and it's really nice to be here. I'll keep trying my best to help all of you. HDFC Life, I think HDFC Life is look. I mean, the best thing in HDFC Life favor is it's an HDFC stock, so it's always going to be expensive. It is expensive, we all know that, but it's HDFC stock, so you won't get it cheap. It's like South Mumbai real estate. You won't get it cheap. Uh, can it be as big a compounder as the other HDFC stocks have been? Obviously not, because the base effect itself is very high. It starts at a very high market cap, so obviously you won't get that kind of compounding which you got with HDFC and HDFC Bank. But insurance as a space is only going to increase penetration, private insurance in India. And in that case, I think HDFC Life going forward, I think has good going for it. I think Delta Corp, again, the risk is what's happening with this new variant. But it's a very, it's a stock which I find undervalued, but let's see how things move because, they have Adda 52. I recently went to Goa. The casinos were jam packed. I mean, and they make money hand over fist. So, uh, well, I went away with my family for some time. I needed to spend some time with my family. In fact, all of us were together in these last 1 month or so. So Abhinish, that's what I explained. You identify risk reward with price action. So this morning, I was ready that if the market gives you an opportunity near the SGX Nifty low, that would be a good risk reward. So Bangalore detox was good, but after that I went to Delhi and I had all the gajar ka halwa and everything, which my mom made, and I lost 6 kgs in detox. I gained 8 kgs while I was in Delhi. So net net, I gained 2 kgs. So look. I mean, honestly speaking, I have no idea how this whole virus and how this whole vaccine thing is going to evolve. All I know is that you have to trust scientists. You have to trust the doctors. Uh, I mean, I'm someone who's faced the unfortunate event. Uh, Even then I will trust the doctors and scientists because that's what you can do. And I will hope that the vaccines will do their jobs, and that's our biggest hope, right? That the vaccines will work and they will do their job. There are a lot of conspiracy theories about vaccines, about pharma companies, about hospital companies. I don't subscribe to them. To each his own. I want to believe that in general people are good. in general, people are working towards humanity. Yes, there are a lot of people who want to profiteer as well, but uh, in this profession of medical sciences, 90% people are good, like in any profession for that matter. So, you have to trust. Do you have any other option? Tell me one thing. You have to trust. That's what I would say. Banks in general, I think banks have started to correct, which is very interesting because banks had started to see a sharp rally, and I think stuff like SBI, for example, if this is a bull market which is still intact, and if this is a 2003 to 8 kind of phase, then I think these stocks. Look, I think this might be the kind of a phase of the market in which the market might test the 200-day moving average, and some stocks may also test the 200-day moving average. And at 200-day moving average, perhaps they'll become great buys. That is my sense. Bharti, I think, what can I say about Bharti? I think my view, and I think people have benefited. It's been a stock which has remarkably maintained its resilience. And the best thing about Bharti, by the way, has been that even through the decline, it didn't fall. I give a lot of value to such stocks. They may not do as well when the markets go up, but if they do not fall when the markets fall and don't disturb your night sleep, trust me, that's another big point. I mean, for example, a lot of people might have gotten into, say, an IRCTC versus the Bharati, and would have thought, okay, my stock is so much better. But what happened during the drawdown? That's also important, right? So that's something that you got to look at as well. ITC, again, a stock which my sense is that, like the पॉपुलर सॉन्ग गोज, अपना टाइम आएगा, इसका टाइम आएगा, लेकिन इसका टाइम कब आएगा आई डोंट नो, बट जब आएगा तो बड़ा आएगा, जस्ट लाइक हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर. आई थिंक इफ यू ऑल गो बैक एंड सी द चार्ट ऑफ हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर, it went through I think one decade of consolidation, and then in 2 years it made up for all of that. I think if you go through the chart of CRISIL, for 10 years it didn't do anything, but in 2 years it just blasted. So I don't know if ITC will also do. I think McDowell is a great company. I think India as a country is just beginning to consume more and more liquor. And I think Diageo with its brands and promoter. The other stock that you want to keep on your radar is Radico Khaitan. I have personally interacted with the management of late, and I think they are doing some really great work. And I think that's also something that you want to keep on your radar. I think Muthoot Finance has been a great company. I think it's going through a bit of a trouble right now, but that's okay. Every company goes through that. But as of now, I believe that Muthoot also is one of the companies or one of the stocks which on declines, if you buy, you make money. Can this be the new normal when we live with the mutational virus? Yes. Look, again, I'm not a doctor, but the feedback that I have with people is that, and really fingers crossed that this new mutation, for example, viruses normally become harmless once a new mutation replaces the old mutation, and the new mutation is less harmful. It might be more contagious, just like a flu, but it is not as virulent, so, or as fatal. So I think that is something that everyone is hoping for, that perhaps turns out to be the case. That's what we are all hoping for, right? Aren't we? Uh, Look, honestly, people, you know, don't ask me questions like, I have this many stock at this price, what should I do? Because I am, for two reasons. I am not a SEBI empaneled advisor, and B, my forum is to make all of you independent. Tomorrow if I'm not there, I really like some good comments on Twitter when I was not there, that people were still following the risk reward and still making money. That is what I want. I don't want to spoon feed people. So that is why. Yeah. So nice. We had a 20-minute interaction, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in and with all your comments. Tomorrow we'll come back with some interesting topic and have a new conversation going. Thank you so much. Have a good evening, and we'll see you in the market tomorrow.